Okay, as I was saying before, there were two farmers in their wagon with the mules pulling the wagon that were returning home from having gone to the mill. And as they were going down the road, they saw a young boy walking along the edge of the road. And so they were going slow enough that they called to him, and he turned around and come back and walked alongside the wagon, and they asked him who he was, and he said his name was John. And they said, where are you going? He says, everywhere. I don't have a home. I'm just on the road traveling. And so they assumed that he was a boy in his mid to later teens. And they said, well, you're welcome to jump on the back of the wagon back and ride and take a break. So he said, okay. So he stayed on the wagon until he got to the first farmer's home, and he got off and he helped that farmer unload his product from the wagon. And then he got back on the wagon and rode with a second farmer to his place. And there again, he got off and he helped unload and put everything away. And the farmer invited him to stay for the meals, whatever meal it was that day, lunch, dinner, or supper. Well, he stayed and he ate. By then it's getting dark. So the farmer said, where are you going to sleep tonight? He says, gee, I don't know. I could sleep in your barn loft if it's okay. And the farmer said, hey, that's fine. So the farmer took him out and showed him the ladder to get up to the farm loft. And he got up there and he bedded down. And the next morning, when he saw lights go on in the house, lights in those days being kerosene lamps or candles, he got down out of the loft of the barn, and he got ready, and when the farmer came out, he helped him feed the cows, feed the pigs, and chickens, and the farm animals. And then he watched them watch the farmer milk the cows, and he joined in and helped milk. He just was a real handy lad to have around. So when the first farmer that got off the wagon heard about the second farmer still had the kid, and the kid was such a good worker, he says, wait a minute, I'm the guy on the wagon coming home that invited the kid to join us. And now you've got him and you're getting all the work out of him. The second farmer said, he wanted to stay, and I offered him a place, and so he stayed. And so as this went on, they got into quite a dispute over who should have the boy, Farmer 1 or Farmer 2. So they ended up in front of the magistrate, whoever he might be, and they said, we have a dispute, we need you to settle it. And the magistrate says, well, what is the dispute? So they told him a story about finding the boy on the road, giving him a ride, how he stayed with the second farmer, and the first farmer didn't get any benefit of his ability to work. So the judge said to the boy, what is your name? He says, John. And he says, what is your last name? He says, I don't have one. I just don't have one. And he asked the men, did they know his last name? They said, no, they didn't know his last name, his surname. So the judge says, well, let's see, we have here a boy named John, and he doesn't know whether or not he has a last name or surname. So, and the two men are in a disagreement over what his last name should be. So he said, well, I'll put down here that he's John and his last name is hard to agree on. Now that's just a legend, that's just a story that's told. And I've heard it from several different people, but I don't believe it's probably true any more than anything else, because Nova's done such a wonderful job of putting down where she got information, who she got it from, and that didn't show up in this book, as far as I can tell. So, as I was saying also before, there was two sons of Hardigreaves, Hardegreaves or Hardigreaves, that came to this to the colonies, the British colonies. And I believe the record of their arrival and their stay here was in Baltimore County, in the land of Maryland. And that's where they started from. And they dispersed from there as the Revolution went on. There's records of them in the church records there, I believe in 1767, 1787. The parish they were a part of kept detailed records of who was there and who did what. And so that's the way the name Hardy-Gray was brought about, was hard to agree on who they are. And so with that, I think you might want to give me a break.